Welcome to the World Cup 2010, starting off in the beautiful marina of Porec, Croatia for the fourth time. We'll be headed to Antalya, Turkey, then swinging over to Ogden, Utah in the United States of America for the third stage in August, before the fourth stage in Shanghai, China, which sets everyone up for the grand final in Edinburgh, Scotland, where the 32 best shooters in the four categories will shoot for more than $150,000 US. But right now we're in Porec, Croatia for the very first stage. We've got 41 countries here registered with a total of 339 shooters. And we've got a lot of news, including a new set system. We've got matches between the experienced and the new. And does the new set system change the way of shooting? Who's going to win? Let's head to the marina and find out. In the women's compound bronze medal match, it's the first match between French archer Sandrine Van Dionant, the wife of Michele Frangilli, and the 21-year-old American archer Erika Anschutz, past world junior champion. Erika Anschutz, a top shooter, she won 2 team bronze medals at the 2007 and 2009 Worlds and won the first set 27-24 in this match. Sandrine Van Dionant came back with a 10-9-10 to win the second set 29-25. Here we are after 3 sets, and the score tied 4-4 because of Van Dionant's error in the third set. Both archers shooting a 9 and a 10 in this decisive set. Here's Erika Anschutz.
Seven, 6.
Erika Anschutz was pushing the timer, and every time in the preliminary sets that she was pushing it hard, she'd shoot a high 8. Sandrine Van Dionant was more consistent, shooting with somewhat better timing. And that may have paid off as we get into these final 2 arrows.
Yes! Do it again, Erika. See, it's that confident, strong, confident shot.
You hear Diane Watson, the American archer, in the background helping coach Erika through this. Sandrine with solid shooting. She's coming off a big win with the European Indoor Championship.
9.
That's the final arrow for Erika. Now the question is it going to be enough to keep Sandrine from taking this set and winning the match? And the answer? Sandrine Van Dionant taking this one, 10 points, winning the set and winning the bronze medal. And so a big victory for Sandrine Van Dionant, a bit of disappointment for the American archer Erika Anschutz, who, like most of her American teammates, is quite used to being up on the podium. Maybe the set system is changing that dynamic this year, because we have seen quite a bit of upset, and we've seen quite a few shooters who've come out of the woodwork, as it were, to take the ascendancy of the prime spots. We'll see what happens in the next match, which is a compound gold medal match for the ladies. It's Nikki Hunt, who we've seen here before, very successful here in Porec last year. Nikki Hunt, a great fighter, winner of the Porec World Cup of 2009 and a World Cup finalist of 2009. Her opponent, well, it's her first real match in international competition. It is Ashley Wallace of Canada, a soft-spoken, pleasant person. No one really knows her very well on the international circuit, and she's never really been in a final before in an international competition. But it turns out Ashley Wallace is one talented shooter. So far in straight set action, she's got Nikki Hunt 2 out of 3. Now, what's interesting about Nikki Hunt, though, is at this stage she has put on a spectacular fight and has come from oblivion to be in a position to force a shoot-off.
And just shy of the 10 rings, 9.
Ashley Wallace, more or less unfazed, though. That was the defining element of Ashley's performance. You'll notice, however, that was her first arrow out of the gold. Nikki does not let up.
10. 9.
And as you can see from the previous groups, Ashley starting to open up her group a little bit. Maybe taking a deep breath there, maybe feeling a bit of pressure. Somewhere Nikki Hunt has been before. Nikki fought through tremendous pressure last year, right here in this harbor, in this venue, to take the win. The question is, what happens with this shoot-off that she's forced? Both shooters with 5 points now in the sets. It's going to come down to the final arrow. not what you want in a shoot-off situation. It's a single arrow, and it's closest to center that wins it, so a marginal 9 isn't going to cut it. Ashley Wallace holding tough to take the shoot-off. You know, with one arrow, either you're going to love or hate this situation. Looks like Ashley Wallace might very well be one of those shooters who loves the shoot-off format. So a tremendous debut for the young Ashley Wallace of Canada. And she takes first place in the World Cup current rankings, 25 points, giving her tremendous advantage on the road to Edinburgh. Nikki Hunt second, Sandrine Van Dienant third. The American Erica Anschutz is fourth in the standings. More than a few surprises on the gentlemen's side of the field, with a number of upsets, including number 1 Peter Elzinga being taken out by the number 64 Archer, who proved up to the occasion up to the second pass when he went out. But in general terms, the new set system didn't interfere too much with what we expect to see. The compound bronze medal match, a good example of that, with two of the top archers matched up at this stage. That includes the talented Danish archer Martin Damsbo, who has been a regular presence on the World Cup lineup since 2006. His opponent, Rio Wild, no stranger to the very top of our sport, with multiple world championships, and at 36 years of age, Rio may very well be one of the most experienced shooters in Porec, team world champion from Leipzig and Ulsan, individual gold medalist at the World Cup final and many other events, and of course the reigning champion of the world from Ulsan in 2009. Now, after 3 sets, Rio is dominating the match. It's the first encounter between Rio and Martin Damsbo. First set was taken by Rio, 30-28. They tied at 28 all in the second set, and then we had 3 set points to 1 in favor of Rio. Mr. Wild was perfect again in the third set. He's standing at 5-1 at this stage. Let's see what happens now in the fourth set.
9.
Solid shooting.
Pointer at 8 o'clock.
You'll see nothing outside the gold so far from Rio Wild.
See.
10. 10.
Nice shot.
So trading 10 for 10. You'll notice Martin's not giving up. But there's the opportunity, the open door. If Rio Wild lands a 10, he's got the whole match.
And Rio Wild has
That is
taken
how
the
it is
match.
done. So, 6-2 in favor of Rio Wild to take the bronze medal. And a very good showing from the talented Danish archer. But Rio Wild showing why he is the reigning world champion.
The first encounter between Rio and the talented Danish archer. We expect that we will continue to see these two battle it out over the next few years.
Our gold medal match had a couple of people who we know very well. Well, at least one person who we know very well. The other guy, who? Sam what? We'll find out in a second. Here's Sergio Pagni, the Sultan of Smooth, the champion of Porec from last year, finalist for Copenhagen's World Cup Grand Final, the champion there. And our Italian is trying to go for a hat trick here. Now, here's the guy we don't know, except it turns out he's somebody we probably should know. Sam Kurtzoglu of Belgium. As a junior shooter, Sam was very talented, setting a number of national records in Belgium. He was down around 59th in qualification, but legitimately made his way all the way to this gold medal final stage by taking out illustrious shooters like Dietmar Trillis, the past world champion. So here they are. They're tied 4-4. The winner of this set could take the whole shooting match. Sure looks like he's taking a lot of time there, but as you can see, he holds up pretty well under pressure.
10.
Meanwhile, continued smooth shooting from Sergio Pagni. Somewhat challenging conditions. Earlier in the day, it had been raining cats and dogs, but by the afternoon, the sun was out and the wind was swirling in the marina. I think the biggest issue, though, was the fact that the sun was pretty much in the face of the shooters while the targets were in a bit of shade, and that made it a little bit tougher to see, particularly for the compound shooters who use a scope on their bow. A little bit of sun can cause the image to wash out. Well, with that draw, we are now in position for a shoot-off. This is where Sergio Pagni really has a tendency to shine. He often will drop a pretty good shot at 10 on his opponent, put the extra pressure on them, and game over. Let's see if he does it again this time. 10 points will make it extremely tough for Sam to be able to come back and try to defeat Sergio in this shoot-off. And it's a single arrow closest to center, by the way. Ow, not quite good enough. All Sam has to do is shoot a 9 closer to the center or a 10, and he's the winner. And there it is. So, quite a surprise, really, except for those who've looked at his record somewhat closely. Sam Kyrtsoglu of Belgium taking the win and the gold medal.
Come on, Sam, you win. Come on, y'all, encore. Yeah, come on, yo. Hey, good job. Hey, impeccable, yo.
I had a lot of luck on my way to the finals. My qualifications were difficult, but all the work done in the previous years finally pays off. To win, there is a little bit of everything. There is always a part of luck, but also a part of success. When you see my results in the qualifications, I was not far from the cut, but then I catch it up to get to the finals, and at the end finish at the first place. I even surprised myself, and I hope I will surprise myself like this again.
So, the standings are as follows. Sam Kyrtsoglu, #1 with 25 valuable points. Sergio Pagni, second, and Rio Wild hoping for more momentum as he heads to Turkey for the next stage. Modern archery is a sport of tradition and technique. Modern archery can be broken down into 2 separate main disciplines, the recurve bow and the compound bow. The modern compound bow was designed in the late 1960s and represents what may very well be the greatest technical innovation in the sport of archery in 50,000 years. At the heart of the compound bow is the cam system, which provides for a mechanical advantage. What this means is that an archer who pulls a 60-pound compound bow can end up holding as little as 15 pounds. This allows a great many different types of people to be able to enjoy the use of the compound bow. One of the keys to the compound bow is the use of the mechanical release device. With a triggering mechanism, the release device provides for an almost perfect release every time. By contrast, the Olympic recurve bow is considered a bit more traditional. It harkens back to the way archery has been done by man for more than 50,000 years. The Olympic recurve bow is held entirely by one's fingers and has no mechanical advantage. The recurve bow is still the only bow allowed for Olympic competition. Recurve bows really have a great deal of tradition behind them, and they share lineage with bows going back thousands of years. There's really very little difference between a modern recurve bow mechanically and a bow that might have been made 2,000 years ago. The big difference today is modern materials such as carbon fiber, syntactic foams, aircraft aluminum risers. But at its heart, the recurve bow is fundamentally the traditional way to shoot archery. And speaking of the traditional way to shoot archery, let's have a quick look at the recurve bronze medal match featuring 2 of the greatest fixtures on the World Cup circuit in the last few years. This is Justyna Moshpanek, a great shooter who is spending a little more time on her studies these days. That might explain why she's in the bronze match instead of her customary gold medal position. Justyna went through a lot of great shooters to get to this position. Her opponent is also a great shooter, truly a great shooter. Bérengère Chou of France, a consistent top archer over the last decade, indoor world champion of 2003. Her latest big achievement to shoot a perfect score to take the Nîmes International Championship. And Bérengère, after a slightly rough start, is now in a dominant position. Wait till you see her target. Look at the 10 ring when we get to that. First we'll see Justyna shooting. Timing running a little long for Justyna. She's not practicing as much as normal. Again, as I mentioned, she's concentrating on her studies these days. Bérengère, however, may very well be at the top of her form. Watch this. Look at that target. Look at all those 10s. That is awesome shooting. We didn't see that from the compounds earlier today. But at a certain point, We saw 10 after 10 after 10 from Berenger.
10-9 liner, probably a 10.
Bien, B.
So with a 4-2 lead, all Berenger has to do is win this set.
7.
We used to know with that really not well shot 7 is really opening the door now, and all Berenger has to do is land one in the gold, which she does, and she takes the set and the bronze medal. Really great shooting by Berenger Shu. And so, as we can see, a past champion is still a champion under the new system.
That's an excellent score.
Un petit sourire à la caméra.
And so a great start to the indoor season turns into a great start for the outdoor season for France's Berenger Shu, star of the French team. On to the gold medal final for the ladies. And once again, we are seeing some newcomers, at least in a general sense. This is Sabrina Streff. Now, Sabrina isn't really a newcomer at archery competitions, but what she is a newcomer in the adult ranks. She's a top junior from the past. Her opponent is Miss Kuznetsova, Elena Kuznetsova from Belarus, who placed 5th at the Ulsan World Championships. She actually had beaten her current opponent at last year's World Cup Stage 3 in Antalya. This time around, Sabrina got off to a strong start, winning the first set 28-22, and then losing the next 2. It was up to her to come back in the 4th set to tie, and here's where we are at 4-4. It's the final set. Sabrina needs 10s now, and there's one.
Come on, Zé. Nog zo'n shot. Dat was perfect.
Elena Kuznetsova has been shooting well, but now it looks like, yeah, that shot might have just taken a bit long, and we're seeing a top right shot when we're seeing her hold longer. I noticed that during the week earlier as well. And Sabrina with an 8. That kind of leaves the door open for her opponent. Let's see if Elena can capitalize. Yes, solid shot. A 10 would be really handy for Sabrina's chances right now.
10.
Good job.
Well, there it is. Now the pressure is on, and a 10 is what Elena is going to need. That is what makes a champion. The ability to pull it out when it's absolutely needed, forcing a shoot-off. Now, once again, the shoot-off is going to be closest to center.
Focus, eh?
Sabrina really focusing. Ooh, that really leaves the door open for Elena. All she needs with a marginal 9 like that is to put something just a bit closer to the center, and it's all hers. Oh. Now, this could be a problem. We've only got 20 seconds to shoot. It's probably really important to let down if you don't feel like everything's right, but you haven't got a lot of time to do it with 20 seconds on the clock. Elena shoots, and oh, it's an 8, and Sabrina takes the match.
That's good job. Come on.
A lot of determination in Sabrina's face, and it paid off. Winner of the gold medal here today.
Ik ben naar hier gekomen met verwachtingen top 20, die waren zeker haalbaar.
I came here with the expectations to be in the top 20. That was realistic, and when on Thursday I started to win the matches, I hoped to be in the top 4. And today I won, so I am very, very happy.
Dus ik ben heel blij.
So with that, we've got the ranking list looking as follows. Sabrina Streff first with 25 points on the board, Elena Kuznetsova second, and Berenger Shu heading into Turkey with a solid 3rd.
I wanted to start a foundation to just try to help, to give back to the community. I mean, Arizona and where I live has done a lot for me. So I wanted to start a foundation to kind of give back, to raise money and donate to a lot of different organizations like Heart Disease, the St. Jude's Hospital, the Phoenix Children's Hospital, and also with the foundation we'll try to help young archers and to get to tournaments that maybe that they're not paid for. And if we get big enough, I don't know how big we're going to get, but it's just the bigger we get, the more things we can do.
That's Brady Ellison. We're going to see him in just a little bit. In the meantime, let's have a look at the bronze medal match between two great shooters. This is Simon Terry, really an amazing fellow, double medalist of the Barcelona 92 Olympic Games, taking more than 10 years off, retiring, and then coming back to win silver at the World Championships in 2007. He took second at the last World Cup Grand Final. This is the young J.C. Valadon, Jean-Charles Valadon, one of the most talented shooters in France. And they've met twice before, at last year's World Cup first stage and the Indoor World Championships, both times in the quarterfinals, and J.C. Valadon won both times. So, maybe a chance for a little revenge for the Silver Fox, Simon Terry, as he gets ready to take on the young'un. And sure enough, it's the revenge of Simon Terry, at least so far, because after straight sets, 27-26 and 29-25, it's a 4-0 lead going into the third set for Simon Terry. Jean-Charles is going to have to win this one to keep his hopes alive. He's going to have to win it outright. Solid shooting, but not a good result. 8 points. Simon Terry,
10.
That's what he's been doing all this match.
10. Allez, le lien.
8.
By the way, the microphone is on the coaches for this season. You can hear the coaches' advice to the shooters. Not a lot of time on the clock. Simon's going to have to kick this one out quickly. 7, 6, 5.
9, 8,
More or less got away with that one.
10.
JC needs to start shooting 10s here.
10.
Not hurtful, but will it be enough to hold off Simon Terry? This is the arrow for the match.
And
Simon Terry takes it.
in straight sets, Simon Terry taking the bronze.
And bronze indeed for Simon Terry after excellent shooting. Straight set victory. In fact, the only one we saw during the competition was that straight set victory between Simon Terry and Jean-Charles Valadon.
Taking straight sets against an injured Jean-Charles Valadon. I'm not saying that to make you feel bad, Simon. It's just, I guess he hurt himself playing football or something.
Now time for the highlight of the day, the Recurve gold medal match between two old rivals and friends from the American team. This is Victor Wonderly, two-time Olympic medalist, having won a bronze in Sydney and a silver individual medal there as well. His opponent, his 2008 Olympic team rival and friend, Brady Ellison. This archer is one of the top shooters in the United States. Over the past 20 years, no one has had quite as much raw talent as Brady, a past world junior champion with the compound bow. After the first 4 sets, Brady Ellison started to turn on the speed and turn on the pressure. Vic Wonderly started to lose his ability to respond to the young upstart's ability to shoot the arrows in the 10 ring. As you can see here, Vic is taking a really long time to shoot. And it is not paying off for him.
9 points.
9 points on
2
that.
o'clock, slightly high right.
10.
Brady with a solid 10.
Good shooting.
You know, Vic really did start the match shooting very well, very strongly, but he started to slow down as the match progressed. It's a problem that he's had for the last few years.
8
The
o'clock.
Beijing Olympic Games, he had one of his teammates screaming at him to get him to shoot the shot before the clock was up. He succeeded, but this is a very difficult situation to try to overcome. Dependency on trying to shoot before the clock goes out is a common problem in archery, and it's especially difficult to deal with if you've been shooting for a long time like Vic
8,
Wonderly.
9 o'clock.
Brady Ellison, though, maintained his solid form, shooting 10 after 10 after 10, and one more of those right now will win this match.
Brady Ellison takes victory here in Croatia.
Drugi svojim pobjednikom osvajača zlatne medalje Ellison meta broj 2.
Good. You did well. You did very well. Thanks. Last shot, think I'm just a little bit too fast.
Silver medal for Victor Wonderly, United States, champion of the 2010.
It's a big set. This is my first World Cup win, and it was fun getting here. And new set system's different. It's interesting, and I'm glad to see it on this level. And it worked out, and I'm really happy to win my first one here.
And to be on top of the ranking list, Brady Ellison with 25 valuable ranking points. Vic Wonderly second, Simon Terry third. We've got Jean-Charles Veladon fourth, and Baljinima Tsarimpolov fifth after the first event. Now, on to Turkey for the next event. After some surprising results in Porec, where Belgium took 2 individual gold medals more than any other country. We'll see you in Antalya for the next stage of the 2010 FIDE Archery World Cup, where we unveil the mystery of hit or miss. We'll see you next time.